Hi everyone and welcome to TV Connection. I'm Selena Lee and our guest today is Mr. Daniel Yoon, the founder and CEO of Bellstar Group, a private investment firm which manages $1.5 billion. Mr. Yoon is a graduate of West Point and served as a captain in the U.S. Army before his career in finance. Thank you so much for being on the show today. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, and thank you especially because I know you're very busy. You're flying to Korea tomorrow, so thanks for making time for us. First of all, I'd like to learn a bit about your background. You came to the United States when you were 6 years old. Grew up in, I think, a middle-class family. You went to West Point, served in the Army as a captain, and then you pursued finance. After working at Goldman Sachs and Lehman Brothers, you started your own investment firm. So can you take us a little bit back and tell us how you came to where you are and transitions through your career and why you decided to pursue finance?
I don't particularly have or had an agenda from an early age. I just I just followed whatever opportunity at the time seemed like the right opportunity.
Yeah.
For me, when I was growing up as a child, I loved watching Star Wars and Kung Fu movies and loved all about Sparta, loved training. And so my junior year in high school, when I went to visit West Point, I was in awe. And I felt like it was the right school. So I went to West Point. And I loved training there as well. And after the Army, I wanted some new challenges. And back in New York City, I had some friends, and people said the good places to work was Goldman Sachs and McKinsey. And I applied to McKinsey. I didn't get in. I did apply to Goldman Sachs. I got a job. So, McKinsey is a consulting firm. Goldman Sachs is an investment banking firm. So
that's right.
I didn't have any particular bent to go into finance per se. I just wanted to work at a good company.
I see. So now you are a CEO of an investment firm, and for those of us who may not be very familiar with the industry, can you tell us what you do and what words of advice would you have for those people who want to do what you do?
What we do really is no different than any other job. We have a product. We sell our services, and that's asset management. We manage money mainly on behalf of pension funds and government entities. So that's our service or our product, and then we have to go out and sell that service or market that service, and that's called fundraising. So my job primarily consists of raising money from pension funds, insurance companies, governments, because they're holding a lot of cash. And then afterwards, once I have the money and they entrust the money with our firm, my job is to earn the highest rate of return that I can for our clients. And it's really that simple. It's raising the money, and then it's investing the money. And then afterwards, it's returning the money, more money than they gave me. In terms of your second question, any advice for people to get into the financial profession? I think anything in life, if you have a passion for it, doors will open up. So if you want to be in finance and you think about it, you'll find ways to open doors. That may mean asking some friends, asking some people. I didn't have any friends in finance at the time when I went into finance, but I sort of got to it differently. But I think doors opened up because I saw something interesting, and you keep trying, and it's amazing if you keep trying what doors will open up.
So that leads me to the next question. You told me about a book that has inspired you. It's called The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. Can you share with our audience what the book is about?
That book has inspired me, actually. It's it's one of my, if I had to name 10 books that I really have enjoyed and that have helped shape my thinking about life, is a book called The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. Basically, as a general background, Joseph Campbell, I believe, or is recognized as one of the greatest mythologists. He studied myths and culture and history of people. And he wrote many books, but one of the books that I think is his pinnacle work is called The Hero's Journey. And I read the book because a friend of mine actually gave it to me, because on the cover of The Hero's Journey, the book by Joseph Campbell, was a picture of Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, and because I just loved watching Star Wars when I was a child. But essentially the book is, and I'm simplifying a lot here, but essentially what Joseph Campbell did was, for 40 years he studied all the different cultures of different nations from different periods of time. He lived with the Aborigines of Australia, of Africa, of South America. He studied different cultures of different times. And although these cultures were isolated and they never talked to each other, he found that their stories or their myths all shared the same plot. And that was called the hero's journey. And once again, it's very much simplifying, but there were 3 stages. The first stage is essentially a person, and that's an average person typically, will get called by the gods. And that person will generally first refuse the call.
Right, right.
And then eventually that person will accept the call. And then the second phase is, once you accept the call, you go on this incredible journey and you learn some great insight. And that's the second phase. And the third and final phase is, after you learn this great insight, you come back and you share it with your community or the community. In the Judeo-Christian world, we have Moses, an average person, a stutterer, who was not a leader by any means, but became a great leader. The second phase for him was the 10 Commandments, which he brought back and shared with community. Buddha, we have a very similar story. And he has the Eightfold Paths. And you look at different cultures and they have the same plot line. In fact, George Campbell, who, George Lucas, excuse me, who created the Star Wars, the 6 epic stories, based his entire career and his storyline on this book. And he consulted with Joseph Campbell to come up with Star Wars. And once again, you have same thing. You have Luke, an average person who refuses the call, who gets trained as a Jedi, goes and learns great insights, and it ends with learning with Yoda, and he comes back and he saves the galaxy.
So how did this book change the way that you live your life? And what can all of us learn from that?
I think for me, the way it probably has changed my life the most is that I think we're all on a hero's journey. And
all of us.
All of us, every single one of us. And I think the gods are calling us all the time to accept this call. And I think once you do, doors will just open up. Great things will happen. And I think a lot of us, including myself, for 10, 15 years, I never accepted the call. And
Did you know that there was a call?
No, but over time it becomes more obvious.
Right.
And I think for some people, Joseph Campbell calls this bliss. For some people, it's finding their aha moment when they realize that they're an architect or an engineer.
Right.
So for me, that moment also came about 10 years ago, and I realized what I should do. Things became clearer. So for me, this hero's journey is sort of, at least gave me some guidelines that what I was feeling was not abnormal. That this has been going on for centuries, that we are all on a journey, and that journey is different for all of us, but each one of us and each journey is very unique. And I think once you do accept the call and go on the journey, it won't be an easy ride.
That's right.
You look at Lord of the Rings and Frodo's and all the challenges he goes through. That's also based on the hero's journey, or the Matrix. What Theo and the other people go through. And just like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, you go through this incredible journey, you live sort of life in a very adventurous state, but wonderful things do happen.
Right. And thanks to your recommendation, I did read the book, and there's also a DVD out, and it was just wonderful just learning about you get this call. Sometimes it takes a shock to separate from your very comfortable present moment now. And then you go on this journey, but no one can do it alone. And there's mentors, there's friends, there's people who help you on the way. And then you bring all of that back to, contribute to your community. So a lot of people today will get to read this book and then learn an insight or two about their journey as well. So finally, do you have any words to share with our young Korean Americans who hope to be as successful as you are one day?
Well, thank you for that comment. At least from my perspective, at least for me, it wasn't, the journey is about just simply living life. Whatever your condition, whatever your circumstances, just embrace life and accept this call, accept the journey. And once you do, doors will simply open up. And so whether you're a college graduate or you're not a college graduate, whether you're going to graduate school or not going to graduate school, I don't think it matters. So for me, getting to finance, I'm here. Some people said that the only way to get here was to get an MBA, go to a top Harvard MBA, and I don't think you need to. I think there are many ways to get to where you want to get to, and I think the journey starts today. And just live your life today, and just know that once you do, wonderful things will happen. And as the doors open up, seize those opportunities. And for me, that's probably one thing that I would share is, as opportunities comes up, accept the challenge, and as opportunities come up, seize them, and you'll know what they are.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, it's wonderful to know that success comes in all different shapes and forms, and there's different ways to get to success, and it does not necessarily mean you go to a certain school and you have to certain grades, but thank you for being a great role model for that, and yeah, thanks for being such a good example for a lot of young people out there. So thanks for your time again.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank our guest, Mr. Daniel Yoon, for joining us today. I hope today's program has inspired all of you to go on your own hero's journey. I'm Selena Lee, and it's great to have you with us. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.